Long before Babylon rose and Egypt built its pyramids, there was a mysterious people who ruled the lands between mountains and rivers, the Hurrians. Their names are barely remembered, their language nearly lost, and their ruins buried deep beneath northern Mesopotamia. Yet for centuries, the Hurrians shaped kingdoms, influenced empires, and changed history, only to vanish without a trace. Our story begins not with a bang, but with a seed. Around 2500 BCE, in the Fertile Crescent, the cradle of civilization, a new people began to shape the land that is now northern Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. These were the Hurrians, and their journey from scattered farming communities to a regional superpower is one of history's great forgotten epics. At first, they were not conquerors. They were farmers, coaxing life from the rich soil. They were builders, raising towns from mud and timber. And they were traders, their caravans forming the arteries of a thriving economy. But the Hurrians possessed two secrets that would give them an unparalleled edge. First, they mastered metallurgy, developing advanced bronze-working techniques that produced stronger tools and superior weapons. Second, and perhaps more importantly, they revolutionized horse breeding and training. Their methods, famously recorded in texts like the Kikuli Manual, were so sophisticated they could turn wild horses into the engines of the ancient world's most feared weapon, the war chariot. As their influence grew, their culture blended with that of their powerful neighbors, the Sumerians and Akkadians. Yet they held fast to their unique identity, most notably through their language. It was an isolate, a linguistic island with a complex grammar that still puzzles scholars today. How could a language so distinct thrive amidst giants? Their beliefs were as powerful as their armies. They worshipped a vast pantheon, led by the mighty Teshub, the god of storms, whose thunderous voice echoed their military might. Beside him stood Hepet, the queen of heaven, a mother goddess who nurtured the land and its people. These deities were so compelling, so resonant, that they would be adopted and adapted by neighboring empires, their influence echoing through the Hittite and later the Greek and Roman pantheons. Their gods, like their culture, were destined to outlive their kingdom. For centuries, the Hurrian people were a persistent presence across the Near East, a collection of city-states scattered from the Zagros Mountains to Syria. They were skilled artisans and farmers, but not yet a unified force. That all began to change around 1700 BCE. From this mosaic of communities, a new power emerged, coalescing into a formidable kingdom that would soon dominate the political landscape. The great kingdom of Mitanni. Its capital, Washukani, remains one of archaeology's most sought-after lost cities. Its exact location a tantalizing mystery. At its height, Mitanni controlled vast lands from the Tigris River to the Mediterranean Sea. This wasn't just empty territory. It was the strategic heart of the ancient world. By commanding the major trade routes, Mitanni controlled the flow of essential resources like tin and copper, the raw materials of the Bronze Age. Every bronze sword, every tool, every piece of armor forged in the region depended on trade that passed through their lands. This strategic position gave them immense wealth and leverage over their powerful neighbors. But their power wasn't just economic. Its kings trained some of the first known horsemen in history, teaching advanced chariot warfare. The Mitanni chariot was a marvel of engineering, lightweight, fast, and crewed by three specialists, a driver, an archer, and a shield bearer for defense. This mobile weapons platform could shatter enemy infantry lines and outmaneuver slower forces. Their secret weapon was the composite bow, a powerful innovation that could pierce the bronze armor of the era. This military technology was so valuable that even the mighty Egyptian empire sought their alliance, not as subjects, but as equals. The relationship between these two superpowers blossomed into a complex web of diplomacy, documented in the famous Amarna letters. To solidify this crucial bond, one of Egypt's most illustrious pharaohs, Amenhotep III, married a Mitanni princess, Tadukipa, uniting two great powers of the Bronze Age in a spectacle of international politics. This marriage was more than a personal union. It was a strategic pact that stabilized the entire region for decades, a testament to Mitanni's status on the world stage. The Hurrians were not just warriors. They were diplomats, inventors, and cultural bridges between East and West. Their expertise in horse breeding was legendary, codified in detailed training manuals that were studied and copied across the ancient world. They were master metallurgists and innovators whose influence shaped the art, technology, and politics of their time, creating a legacy far greater than their kingdom's borders. If you love exploring lost civilizations and uncovering the secrets of the ancient world, subscribe now and join us as we bring forgotten empires like the Hurrians back to life. The Hurrians left behind an impressive legacy. Their music, for one, was revolutionary. Archaeologists discovered a 3,400-year-old Hurrian hymn in the ruins of the city of Ugarit, written on clay tablets. It's the oldest known song in the world. Their myths and stories spread far beyond their borders. The legend of Kumarbi, their sky god, bears striking resemblance to later Greek tales of Cronus and Zeus, proof that Hurrian ideas shaped future mythologies. But like all ancient powers, Mitanni's greatness didn't last forever. The world of the Hurrians was contracting. To the north, the Hittite Empire, a civilization forged in the Anatolian highlands, was not just growing stronger, it was becoming a military juggernaut. Fueled by a mastery of iron and a relentless ambition, their kings looked south, viewing the fertile lands of Mitanni as a prize to be taken. Treaties that once held them in a delicate balance began to fray, replaced by the cold calculus of conquest. The northern border, once a porous frontier of trade and diplomacy, was hardening into a front line. Meanwhile, an even more existential threat was stirring to the south. The Assyrians, once vassals who paid tribute to the Hurrian kings of Mitanni, began to rise. This wasn't just a new power emerging, it was a rebellion from within the empire's sphere of influence. The student was preparing to overthrow the master. With terrifying speed, they consolidated their power base around the city of Assur, honing a new, brutally efficient model of warfare that would one day make them the terror of the ancient world. Caught between these two giants, the Hurrians were trapped in a strategic nightmare. Fighting a war on two fronts, their famed chariot corps, once the pinnacle of military technology, was stretched thin. They fought with incredible bravery, defending their homeland with a ferocity born of desperation, but they were being systematically pushed back from all sides. Their great cities, centers of art and learning, fell one by one. The capital, Washukani, whose exact location remains one of archaeology's great mysteries, was sacked and looted. When the Assyrians finally delivered the killing blow and conquered the last remnants of Mitanni, they enacted a policy of cultural erasure. They didn't just defeat the Hurrians, they sought to delete them. They erased the name of Mitanni from their records, absorbing its people, co-opting its gods, and claiming its vast knowledge of horse breeding and metallurgy as their own. But can a culture ever be truly erased? History is rarely so simple. Though the kingdom was gone, traces of the Hurrians lived on, hidden in plain sight within the very cultures that had conquered them. Many Hurrian refugees fled north into the rugged highlands. Here, their descendants likely merged with local tribes, becoming a foundational part of the people who would later be known as the Urartians. In the shadow of Mount Ararat, they would build their own formidable mountain kingdom around Lake Van, a powerful echo of their lost Hurrian ancestors. Today, little remains of the Hurrians but fragments, clay tablets, broken idols, and the faint echoes of a language that refuses to die. Every year, archaeologists unearth new evidence of their brilliance, revealing that they were not a lost footnote, but one of the pillars upon which later civilizations were built. Their story reminds us that history isn't only written by the conquerors. Sometimes it's whispered by those who were forgotten. The Hurrians vanished thousands of years ago, but their influence lingers in the myths we tell, the music we hear, and the languages we speak. They may be gone, but their legacy still breathes beneath the sands of time.